Hey everyone, Attorney Matthew Legan Sanchez. Today, let's talk about divorce mediation in Albuquerque. Is it right for you? What is divorce mediation? Divorce mediation, also called settlement facilitation, is a process where a highly trained family court attorney or judge will try to guide you towards a mutual agreement on your contested issues. Maybe you don't agree on child support or custody or timesharing, or maybe it's an asset and debt issue. You don't agree on alimony or how the home is going to be split or cars or bank accounts. Whatever the disagreement, the mediator can guide you towards a mutual agreement potentially. Is divorce mediation right for me? It's not so much if divorce mediation is right for you, it's what kind of a case do you have? If you have a contested case where you and your ex can't agree on any of the elements of the case, asset and debts or custody, timesharing, child support, if there's any disagreement on any issue that's necessary to complete the divorce, then your court is going to make you complete divorce mediation, because most divorce cases, even if they're contested, they should be able to be resolved at mediation. It can be that one side is making unreasonable demands. Maybe one side is saying, I don't want to pay child support because it's not fair, or I don't want to pay alimony because New Mexico laws are screwing me. In that case, if they're making unreasonable demands and the request is supported by New Mexico law, sometimes you need a settlement facilitator, the mediator, to come in and explain, hey, you may not like it, but if you go to court, you're gonna get that, and you also may be hit with attorney fees for fighting against New Mexico law. So a mediator can help you when you're polarized, reach a middle ground. Now, most people, they're worried, they're like, I don't wanna be in the same room with my ex. I don't wanna look at my ex. Well, luckily, most of the mediators, almost all of them, feel the same way and believe that being in the room is counterproductive for all parties to be in the same room. Can raise bad memories or bad emotions. So usually the mediator is going to put each separate party in separate rooms. And the mediator will go back and forth between the rooms, trying to guide the parties towards a mutual agreement on any of the contested divorce issues. What makes a good divorce mediator in Albuquerque? From my 16 years of experience, a solid mediator is either a retired family court judge, such as Judge Jewell or Judge Walker, that know what they're talking about. They have practical courtroom experience and understand not only New Mexico law, but the practical application of New Mexico law and how it applies to the unique facts of your case, and how your individual judge will probably rule on a particular issue. Now, a bad mediator, from my experience, is someone that they don't really have a lot of experience. They don't know what they're talking about. They talk in theory land, and they don't know what actually happens in the actual courtroom because they've never really litigated cases. So an experienced attorney, a retired attorney, or they're quasi-retired, experienced family court attorneys that know what they're talking about and have decades of courtroom experience usually are better at guiding people towards a mutual agreement than someone that's just faking it until they make it. What happens when divorce mediation fails? Have you gone to divorce mediation and you can't agree on an issue? You're still butting heads on a particular issue? Well, then your judge is going to have to decide that issue for better or for worse. And most times, if you're expecting to go into a judge's courtroom and for them to be open arms about the fact that you're there, oh, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, it is great to see you today. You look fantastic. That will not be the case usually. Your judge is not going to be pleased particularly that you're taking up their time in court. They're not going to be happy that maybe one side is being unreasonable and just doesn't want to follow New Mexico law or doesn't want to listen to the experienced mediator. They're not going to be happy. And most of the time, their attitude towards you is going to be pretty salty. So if you end up in court, your judge is probably not going to be all smiles by the fact that you're there, and they will openly tell you that. If you have a pretrial conference before the hearing, your judge will likely tell you, don't come back to me. Resolve your issues through mediation. You are better off in mediation than putting your issues in my hands. Do you really want me, the judge, to decide your fate with custody and timesharing? Probably not. You are better off through mediation and reaching a mutual agreement and co-parenting than putting your issues in my hands, the judge, and then setting up a situation where you two are fighting down the road continually and you're back and forth in court. So your judge will probably tell you, resolve your issues through mediation, you're better off. Tips for a successful divorce mediation in Albuquerque. Show up prepared. Have your financial information, have an asset and liabilities worksheet, have a settlement facilitation outline. Set your facilitator up for success. Help them help you. Have all the information ready. If a home is at issue and you have to decide if you're going to sell it or one keeps it, if one wants to keep the house, go into settlement facilitation with either an appraisal or with agreement on what the value of the home is. Don't spend valuable time paying for a mediator and paying for attorneys potentially where you're spinning your wheels on the home value. Don't do it. Go in there already prepared. Also, go in there with reasonable expectations. Even if you don't have an attorney, you should at least talk to an attorney before, know what New Mexico law is. A lot of times over my 16 years of experience, I've seen that the mediator is more just giving a reality check to one side because their demands aren't based on New Mexico law. Maybe one side is saying, I don't want to pay alimony because alimony's screwing me. And that very well may be the way that you feel about the matter, but that doesn't change New Mexico law. So the facilitator is there basically to be like, well, I get your stance on that, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and I understand how you feel about that, but this is the way that the court's going to rule if you go to court. And then the person potentially will dragging their feet maybe, but hear it and understand that they're better off reaching the agreement now than going into court in front of a grumpy judge that doesn't want them to be there. Do you still have questions about divorce mediation in Albuquerque and whether it's right for you or your case? If so, call me, Attorney Matthew Legan Sanchez at 505 Sanchez. I'll talk to you about your case. We'll get to the bottom of your facts. Call 505 Sanchez today.